Imagine waking up to find yourself speaking in a language you've never learned, fluently. Your mouth moving, words flowing, yet your mind is unaware. This isn't a dream. This is a phenomenon that blurs the line between sleep and waking life, a rare disorder where people speak with perfect coherence while asleep. But what happens in the brain to create this surreal experience? Is it possible for the mind to be so active, even in the depths of sleep? Sleep talking, or somniloquy, is a phenomenon that has fascinated both scientists and dreamers for centuries. While most of us are familiar with the occasional mumble or mumbling during sleep, there's a rare subset of sleep talkers who speak with remarkable fluency, often engaging in complex conversations, telling stories, or even reciting information with a coherence that feels far beyond the usual sleep-talking disorder. This isn't just a random jumble of words. It's a phenomenon that involves complete sentences, structured dialogue, and sometimes even emotional responses. But what causes this rare occurrence? Why do some people experience it, and how does it connect to the complexities of our subconscious mind during sleep? Sleep is a state of profound mystery, and this rare disorder offers us a unique glimpse into how the brain functions while we're in the deepest stages of rest. Is it just the mind at play, or is there something deeper that connects our sleep to our waking thoughts and memories? The phenomenon of fluent sleep talking is not just an oddity of behavior, but also a window into the complex workings of the mind. To understand it, we must delve into the layers of our subconscious, exploring the cognitive and emotional forces at play during sleep. In order to unravel this mystery, we need to consider the role of sleep in organizing and processing our thoughts, memories, and emotions. At the core of this phenomenon is the brain's ability to differentiate between conscious and unconscious states. During sleep, our conscious mind, the part of us that is aware of our surroundings, makes decisions and organizes thoughts, is typically inactive. However, the unconscious mind remains surprisingly active. The content of our dreams is often fragmented, symbolic, and unfiltered by the rational mind. In people who speak fluently in their sleep, the subconscious seems to override the usual disconnection between conscious thought and the sleeping body. Cognitive processes. During sleep is divided into several stages, with the most important for our psychological explanation being the REM, rapid eye movement stage, where dreams occur. In this phase, the brain is highly active, mimicking a waking state. The structures responsible for speech production, such as the Broca's area, the motor cortex, and the temporal lobe, can sometimes fire unexpectedly during REM sleep, leading to coherent speech. This could explain why some people speak fluently during sleep. Their minds are processing thoughts with surprising clarity, much like when they are awake. The content of these conversations often reflects unresolved conflicts, emotions, or issues that the sleeper's mind is trying to process. This is where the phenomenon becomes more fascinating. Sleep talking can reveal fragments of suppressed desires, fears, or anxieties. The fluency and complexity of the speech may be the mind's attempt to sort through these feelings in an unfiltered state, free from the judgment of the waking consciousness. Emotional states and their impact. Interestingly, the emotional state of the sleeper plays a significant role in fluent sleep talking. If a person has been under stress, experiencing emotional turmoil, or undergoing significant life changes, their dreams and subsequent speech during sleep may reflect these inner battles. The mind, it seems, uses this time to express and resolve emotions that may be suppressed during waking hours. The coherence in speech is not just random. It's the mind's way of attempting to make sense of emotional experiences in a safe, detached manner. For some individuals, speaking fluently in their sleep can also be a manifestation of deep-seated psychological conditions like anxiety or unresolved trauma. These individuals might find themselves talking about issues they are consciously avoiding in their waking lives, using their subconscious as an outlet for expression. It's almost as if the mind, while in this semi-conscious state, opens up and allows for a more honest, unfiltered communication that is impossible during the waking state. The role of memory in sleep talking. Memory consolidation, which occurs predominantly during sleep, also plays a pivotal role in fluent sleep talking. The brain processes, organizes, and stores information during the night, especially in REM sleep. In people who speak coherently while sleeping, the brain may access recent memories, events, or even fragments of conversations and experiences, presenting them in an unusually clear way. In essence, the mind may be replaying or revisiting these memories in a way that feels almost like conscious thought, but it is happening in the unconscious realm. To truly understand why some individuals talk fluently in their sleep, we must look at the intricate workings of the brain during various stages of sleep. Sleep is not a monolithic state. Instead, it consists of several stages, each playing a distinct role in brain activity and behavior. The phenomenon of fluent sleep talking occurs primarily during REM sleep, which is characterized by heightened brain activity, vivid dreams, and rapid eye movements. REM sleep and brain activity. During REM sleep, the brain becomes highly active, almost as if it is awake. This is the phase when dreams occur most vividly. The neural networks responsible for higher cognitive functions, such as memory, emotion, and problem-solving, are actively engaged. This increased activity within the brain leads to the spontaneous firing of neurons, including those involved in speech production. In a typical sleep cycle, when we transition into REM sleep, the brain's neurotransmitter activity shifts. The levels of serotonin and norepinephrine drop significantly, which, paradoxically, allows other brain regions to become more active. These neurotransmitters are responsible for regulating mood and cognitive functions during waking hours, so their absence during REM sleep might result in less inhibition, allowing certain cognitive processes, like speech, normally restricted to wakefulness to occur. A crucial part of the brain involved in speech is the Broca's area, which controls speech production, and the Wernicke's area, which processes language comprehension. In fluent sleep talkers, these areas may become activated during REM, allowing them to produce coherent sentences. The motor cortex, which controls voluntary muscle movements, also activates during this stage, enabling the sleeper's vocal cords and mouth muscles to move in sync with speech. The role of the limbic system. In addition to the speech-related brain regions, another critical system at play is the limbic system, which is responsible for emotions and memory. The limbic system is highly active during REM sleep, processing and consolidating emotional memories. When someone talks fluently in their sleep, it's often because their limbic system is processing intense emotions or unresolved conflicts from their waking life. The brain appears to relive emotional events from the day, reactivating not just memories but also the emotional weight that those memories carry. During this time, the person may vocalize their emotional experiences as if speaking out loud to an unseen audience. In some cases, they may even recall past conversations or engage in complex dialogue as a form of emotional expression, something the mind feels compelled to do in order to make sense of unresolved feelings. Motor paralysis during sleep. In normal sleep, particularly during REM, there's a phenomenon called sleep atonia, where the body experiences a form of paralysis to prevent physical movement during dreaming. This paralysis ensures that we don't physically act out our dreams, preventing injury. However, in some cases, particularly with sleep talking, this paralysis can be incomplete. This could explain why a sleeper may move their mouth and speak fluently without waking up entirely. In these rare cases, the brain's inhibition of muscle movement is only partial, allowing speech and minor movements to occur without fully waking the person. This unusual overlap of motor activity and the vivid dreams of REM sleep gives rise to the phenomenon of coherent fluent speech. Sleep disorders and their impact. While fluent sleep talking is rare, it may also be linked to certain sleep disorders. Conditions such as somnambulism, sleepwalking, REM sleep behavior disorder, and parasomnias involve various forms of sleep disturbances where the boundaries between sleep and wakefulness become blurred. In some cases, these disorders can result in individuals speaking fluently or acting out their dreams as if they were awake. Moreover, people who suffer from sleep deprivation, stress, or anxiety may be more prone to experiencing intense and vivid dreams, leading to the possibility of fluent sleep talking. This connection between sleep disturbances and fluent speech during sleep suggests that the underlying mechanisms are not only biological but also deeply influenced by emotional and psychological states. While fluent sleep talking remains a relatively rare phenomenon, there have been several studies and documented cases that shed light on its origins and the brain's involvement in this intriguing disorder. Scientific research into sleep disorders, particularly somniloquy, has helped to uncover the neurological and psychological mechanisms that allow individuals to speak fluently while unconscious. Let's explore some of these fascinating studies and cases to understand the phenomenon better. Historical studies on sleep talking. The earliest scientific investigations into sleep talking can be traced back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, with pioneers like Sigmund Freud and William Dement, one of the fathers of modern sleep research, attempting to understand the nature of dreams and sleep disorders. Freud, in particular, was interested in the unconscious mind and its expression during sleep, suggesting that what we say in our dreams might be a reflection of repressed thoughts and desires. This idea still influences how we interpret sleep-related phenomena, including sleep talking. William Dement, a sleep researcher who helped uncover the importance of REM sleep, conducted numerous experiments in the 1950s and 1960s, discovering that sleep talking often occurred during REM sleep when the brain was most active. These studies laid the groundwork for the understanding that fluent sleep talking is not random but deeply linked to the brain's neural and emotional processing during sleep. One of the first large-scale studies examining somniloquy was conducted in the 1970s, where researchers noted that sleep talking could happen in any sleep stage, but was most prevalent during REM sleep. This study found that about 5% of the population reports sleep talking regularly, with a small fraction experiencing fluent speech during their sleep episodes. More recent studies have expanded on these findings, looking at the neurophysiological underpinnings of sleep talking. Documented cases of fluent sleep talking. While fluent sleep talking is not commonly studied in detail, there are a few documented cases that have garnered attention due to their unusual clarity and structure. In one particularly interesting case study, a 34-year-old woman with no history of psychiatric disorders or sleep disorders was observed talking fluently in her sleep for several months. Her speech during these episodes was not only coherent, but often involved complex sentences, discussions, and even philosophical musings. In another case, a man who had no prior experience with sleep disorders began speaking in multiple languages he had never formally learned, including French and Spanish, while asleep. His fluency in these languages, although he had no formal education in them, puzzled researchers, leading to questions about the brain's ability to access unconscious knowledge or memories during sleep. His sleep episodes were triggered by high levels of stress, suggesting a possible connection between emotional turmoil and the manifestation of fluent speech during sleep. These cases are rare, but they highlight the complexities of the human mind and its ability to operate beyond conscious awareness. The fact that individuals can engage in such fluent speech while completely unaware of their actions hints at the vast potential of the subconscious brain. Recent research on sleep disorders and speaking in sleep. Recent studies have also focused on the relationship between sleep disorders and fluent sleep talking. Researchers at Harvard Medical School's Division of Sleep Medicine conducted a study in 2019 that looked at various parasomnias, including sleep talking. They found that parasomnias, such as sleepwalking and sleep talking, are often linked to deeper, more irregular stages of sleep. This deeper sleep may prevent the usual mechanisms of inhibition that would normally suppress speech during sleep. In another study at Stanford University's Sleep Center, researchers identified that individuals who experience stress and anxiety are more likely to experience intense and lucid dreams. These emotional states seem to enhance the vividness of the dreams, potentially leading to the manifestation of fluent speech. This research highlights how emotional and psychological factors can influence the way our subconscious mind communicates while we sleep. A fascinating experiment by Dr. Mark Mahowald at the Mayo Clinic further examined the neurological conditions underlying parasomnias. He found that the brain often activates speech-related regions during deep sleep stages when the person is in a more aroused state, but still technically asleep. This explains why people can sometimes speak in full sentences or recount complex conversations while not fully conscious. Real-life applications and the future of sleep research. The study of fluent sleep talking offers an intriguing glimpse into the way our minds function while at rest. As research continues, scientists are exploring how sleep disorders like somniloquy may provide clues about memory consolidation, emotional processing, and the brain's ability to process external stimuli during sleep. Moreover, understanding the mechanisms of fluent sleep talking could have applications in understanding other psychological conditions, such as dissociative disorders or lucid dreaming. Future studies might help to identify specific neural pathways or even treatment options for individuals who experience sleep-related phenomena, helping them gain more control over their dreams and subconscious expressions. The phenomenon of fluent sleep talking reveals a profound mystery at the intersection of consciousness and the subconscious. In the realm of sleep, where our bodies are at rest and our minds should be disconnected from the waking world, the brain continues to operate, unraveling memories, processing emotions, and even speaking fluently as though no barrier exists between sleep and wakefulness. This rare disorder challenges our understanding of consciousness and the intricate nature of the mind. In a way, fluent sleep talking mirrors the complexities of the human psyche. It is an expression of unspoken thoughts, unresolved conflicts, and emotional truths that often remain hidden in the waking world. It speaks to the delicate balance between what we consciously control and what remains buried in our subconscious. Could this be a glimpse into the very nature of our dreams? An untapped realm where the mind unravels the mysteries of the day without the boundaries of the waking self? As we delve deeper into the realm of sleep and its disorders, we begin to realize that our minds are far more complex than we ever imagined. Sleep is not merely a time of rest. It is an active, intricate dance of thoughts, emotions, and memories. And in this mysterious state, some individuals are able to speak the language of their subconscious fluently, reminding us of just how much there is still to discover about the nature of the mind itself.